5-minute scatter terrain. Did I get there this time? I think it's more like 5 to 10 minutes, which is a big improvement over my last batch that I did in my previous video, where it was about 10 to 20 minutes per item. But definitely, if you're doing a whole bunch of them, easily 5 to 10 minutes. And I think this is a pretty good result when you think about it. These are going to look great on the board. Have some nice lighting effects inside like the previous ones. Nice weathering, cool posters, etc. The big time saver was Dulux Duramax. Granite effect. It, over a plastic primer on this, basically saved the whole stippling. And meant that I could just spray can colour with a rattle can, Xandri dust, and build from that with dry brushing, which sped things up considerably. Do I recommend it? Yes. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use this in some pretty cool Adobe walled style terrain projects coming up. Watch on to see what happens. Here I am using an electrical switch box or gang box or wall box, much like my previous video. And I've got the Green Stuff World scratch brushes, which I'm going to use to smudge out any out of scale detail or anywhere I can't get into with my X-Acto knife. Now it's time to try out this new product I've picked up. Dulux Duramax Granite Effect, and I'm going to use that over the usual plastic primer from Dulux that I use on all my terrain pieces. Here it is after one coat, and here it is after 2 coats. Now I'm going to start dry brushing. I start off with a 50-50 mix of pale sand by Vallejo and Citadel's Xandri dust. I then continuously add more and more pale sand and then end up using a straight white in the dry brushing. Pretty simple stuff, really. When I need to, I cheat using a heat gun. I can already tell that this texture from the Dulux Granite Effect has saved me a lot of time, and I think the results speak for themselves. Now I'm just doing some quick masking. I'm going to do the hazard stripes and the random symbol I've just kind of made up for the top to add some detail. Instead of stenciling, I'm just going to freehand these stripes and clean them up with a bit of white later. And for the top detail, starting off by stippling on some Mephiston red and then some of the new Pro Acryl orange red. After that, I simply pull the masking tape. After tidying up with a bit of white, I slather on some Iandan yellow. I then apply a shade made of 3 parts Agrax Earthshade, Nuln Oil, Lamia Medium, and 1 part Drakenhof Nightshade. For posters, I soak them in a watery mix of PVA glue, Gorilla Glue is my choice, and then adhere them to the contours with a stiff brush, prodding at them back and forth. I then apply some Vallejo streaking grime to hide the cut edges of the posters. I also then add some streaking grime here and there, and then put drops of water on it till it essentially streaks down the side and gives a nice effect. Now it's time for some dirty down effects. After leaving them sit for 10 minutes in some warm water, tap water only, not boiling, I add rust, which I then highlight with yellow rust, some moss and verdigris. Once this is all dry, I get a stiff brush that's wet, not dripping, and kind of smudge out and smear out any tea straining effect or anywhere where I think it's a bit too harsh. Don't forget, you can also use a heat gun to kind of speed up the effect, and I think it kind of gives it a little bit of a kick too. Just be careful that you don't damage the paint. While a bit tricky at first to get the hang of, I really do think those dirty down effects just add an extra layer and an effect that would be really tedious and time consuming with normal acrylics. Time for some Vallejo acrylic matte varnish, just to protect it. This is a piece of terrain after all. Some people say a varnish knocks down the dirty down effects, but I don't really find that. Time to add some cheap acrylic filters that I bought off Amazon to help with the lighting effect, done using an LED flickering tea candle. Super quick and easy, and I think it adds a lot to the finished product. And here we are. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more.